Okay, so this lesson is on probability trees. The learning objective is that students will be able to complete and use probability trees to answer GCSE style questions. The key points are that probability trees are a useful visual way of working out the probability of two or more events happening, but usually it is just two. Each set of branches adds up to one. That's really important, and you'll see why in a minute. And you can use the and or rules that we learned in the last lesson by multiplying along the branches. That's the and rule, and then adding up the outcomes that you want, and that's the or rule. So we'll come on to that in a second. So give the video a pause, write down the key points, and then we'll move on to the work example. Okay, so your worked example is here. So Tina has 2 bags of counters, bag A and bag B. There are 3 red and 7 blue in bag A, 4 red and 2 blue in bag B. Tina takes a counter at random from each bag. Now part A here says complete the probability tree, which I've already done for you, and I'm going to talk you through how I did that. So as we can see with bag A, these 2 branches are in relation to bag A and they add up to 1 because each pair adds up to 1. Now, as we can see here, the probability of getting red in bag A is 3 out of 10. We know that it's 3 because it says in the question 3, and we get 10 by adding up 3 and 7. So that's our total for bag A. And blue would be 7 out of 10. And as you can see, these 2 things, when you add them together, you get 10 out of 10, which is the same as 1 whole. Then on the second set of branches, we get bag B. Now each pair adds up to 1, and you can see that they repeat themselves twice. Now bag B has 4 red out of a total of 6, because 4 add 2 is 6, and blue has 2 out of 6, and then you repeat for the second part as well. So you've completed part A now, that's worth 2 marks, okay? So those marks are actually very easy, and everyone should be able to get those. Now part B is where it starts to get a little bit trickier, but I'm going to show you a method that helps. So before you start part B, what you should always do is work out the probability of each possible outcome. So what I mean by that is you need to see, right, okay, these are both red that we've seen here. So the probability of getting red in bag A and red in bag B. So I'm going to write down RR to represent red, red. Now to work out that probability, we're going to do 3 out of 10 multiplied by 4 out of 6. So 3 out of 10 multiplied by 4 out of 6. And when you multiply fractions, you get 12 out of 60. Okay, with probability, we don't need to simplify, so we can leave it like that. Now, the next combination we can get is red on bag A and blue on bag B. So again, we're going to write down RB to represent red, then blue, and we multiply it along the branches. So we get 3 out of 10 times 2 out of 6. Which gives you 6 out of 60. Then we do the next one, blue, red. So again, you put BR and you do 7 out of 10 times 4 out of 6, which gives you 28 out of 60. And then the final one would be BB, which is going to be 7 out of 10 times 2 out of 6, which is 14 out of 60. So we've now done all of our combinations, and the reason this helps us for the next questions is because we can just choose which combinations it is that we want. So when we go down to part B, it says work out the probability that both counters chosen are blue. So that combination, we know both counters being blue is BB, blue, blue. And we've already worked out that it's 14 out of 60. So that is our answer for that one. Okay, part C, work out the probability that both counters chosen are red. So again, we know that that's RR, which is at the top here, and this is going to be our answer. So RR is 12 out of 60. And the last one, work out the probability that both counters chosen are different colours. So looking at our possible outcomes, the ones that are different colours are RB and BR, because they're 2 different colours. So we want 6 out of 60 and 28 out of 60. So I'm just going to write that down. So we want 6 out of 60 and we want 28 out of 60. Now, in terms of our rules, this is going to be our OR rule, because what we can get, to get 2 of a different colour, you can get RB or you can get BR. So this or this means that we have to then add these up, because that's our OR rule. So 6 out of 60, add 28 out of 60, gives you 34 out of 60. Okay, and that's our answer there. Right, do you want to just make sure that you've got this whole example written down so that you can use it? before we move on to a your turn question. Okay, so moving on to a your turn question now then. So this is going to be for you to do on your own. So read the question, write it down and have a go. Pause the video and then we'll go through the answers together. Okay, so the question says, Bradley gets the bus on Monday and Tuesday. The probability that the bus is late on Monday is 0.3. The probability that it's late on Tuesday is 0.2. Okay, so late on Monday is 0.3. So that means we have to write 0.3 along that branch. Now don't forget, these add up to 1. So on time, so not late, is going to be 0.7. How did I get that? 1 minus 0.3 is 0.7. Tuesday, late is 0.2. So not on time is 0.8 because they add up to 1. And then these repeat. So even though these aren't fractions, you do it in the exact same way. Now, to help us with part B and C, I'm going to do all the combinations. So late and then late, I'm going to put LL, and that's going to be 0.3 times 0.2. Now, if you did this with a calculator, then you'd got the answer right. If you didn't, be careful with how many decimal places that you get. You know that 3 times 2 is 6, but then there's 2 decimal places, so you need 0.06, so there's 2 in your answer. Okay, and then we've got late and then on time, so let's just put L and O. So we get 0.3 times 0.8. So 8 times 3 is 24, so it's going to be 0.24. And then we've got on time and then late, which is 0.7 times 0.2, which gives you 0.14. And then we've got on time, which is 0.7 times 0.8, which is 0.56. So those are all of your possible combinations. Now moving on to part B, work out the probability that the bus is on time on both these days. So on time is 00. We've already done that. It's 0.56. So 00, 0.56 is our answer for that. Then part C, work out the probability that the bus is late on at least one day. Now at least means that it has to be late on one day or more. So late on one day or more, we've got late and late because that's once or more. We've got late and on time because that's at least 1. And we've got on time and late because that's at least 1. And this obviously has no late. So we want these 3 things. And don't forget, it could be this or this or this. So what we're doing is we're adding up these 3 probabilities. So 0.06, add 0.24, add 0.14. And that is going to give you, using a calculator, which I'm just going to quickly do now so I don't get it wrong. You get 0.44. And that is the probability, okay? So that's that done. So you've done your turn. Make sure that you've got it all corrected and got it correct. And now you've done this, can you make sure that you now move on to the probability trees worksheet, self-assess it using the mark scheme provided, and then complete your exit card and send it to your teacher.